Well, hello again. Welcome back to my channel. Alan retired in the Philippines. Today's topic is pros and cons about living here. I'm replying back to one of my viewers, and he was asking what the pros and cons are. I said, well, it'll be too much to type, so let's just make a quick video, okay? All right, I'll be right back to tell you what I know. I've been here almost 3 years and can give you a little bit of a heads up when you come here. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Pros and cons of the Philippines. Like I said, I've been here almost 3 years, and I'll just give you what I experienced. The pros is, what is the weather? I'm from New York State and lived in Pennsylvania, and snow and cold country. Geez, and in 3 days, one year, we got 6 foot of snow. You know, just freezing. You know, living here in the Philippines, it's very close to the equator. It's tropical weather. It's warm all the time, and I just don't miss the snow and cold there. That's one of the pros there for me. Even though the hot weather can be challenging here in the Philippines, but it's easier to keep cool than it is warm. You know, you get adapted. You learn how to survive the hot weather during the summer. The winter months are very, very comfortable. Okay, I probably should have wrote down bullet points of all of this. I'm just going to wing it here. The next one is financial. It's financial reasons. You know, I call myself a economic refugee, you might say. It's very inexpensive to live here. You know, the cost of living is very, very low. I'll just flat out admit it. You know, I retired at 62, and I only get like $1,009 a month. And I managed to survive very well on that. But the trick was, you know, I was in a 4.5-year LDR. I went against all the rules. I know, blah, blah, blah. I sent my fiance budgets during the 4.5 years there during the pandemic, and built us a house, and with all the luxuries inside, and, you know, with the COVID money, and I was still working even though I retired at 62, you know. And to buy us a car, to get everything all set up, you know, that way there's no rent to pay. Renting to me is throwing money out the window. No, I'm 70 and my wife is 68. You know, I didn't go for the young ones. You know, at that age, we both know how the game works. You know, we're not using each other, so, you know, the chances were very good, even though I took a big chance. But anyhow, let's move on. But, you know, finances, it's much, much cheaper living here. You know, if you have to rent here in the province, rent is anywhere between $100 to $200. Food is cheap, gas is cheap, internet's cheap, everything is cheap. Electric can be a little bit high, you know. Okay, next reason, the women are just amazing. They're beautiful. They're extremely feminine. You know, they're not like feminists back in the West. They take care of the way they look. You know, they'll come out of a nippa hut, you know, looking like a beauty queen. You know, deep dark tan and long black hair, and they just dress well. They take very, you know, pride in their looks. Plus, you know, if you want a lifetime partner, most province girls, you know, they still have the old time marriage cultures. You know, it was raised, you know, ever since they were a kid, to take care of the family and their house, and the kids and the husband, and, you know, the regular traditional role, the way it used to be in the States 50, 60 years ago. Very, very devoted, and, you know, kind and caring. You know, if you're sick, they'll take care of you. They're always looking after you. You know, sometimes a little bit too much. You know, but, you know, be flattered. Take it as it is. Um, Dating is extremely easy if you're single. They just adore, foreign men, and because especially the older ones, there is age gap differences here, which is very very common. But they're the majority are not gold diggers like you hear and all that stuff and everything. They just want someone mature, responsible, that's going to take care of them, and then you can live a really good life here. So dating is so easy. Yeah, it's you can find a different girl every week, if you choose. But just be careful, because there are scammers out there. Because it's a poor country, and all poor countries have more scammers than others. So just be streetwise. What else can I tell you about the pros? Oh my goodness, I just lost train of thought on everything. I'll be right back. Okay, I just thought of another con. Sorry about all the interruptions there. Okay, healthcare. I hear it's got poor healthcare. From what I've seen, some of their equipment are outdated and old and everything here in the province. But in the bigger cities, they have top of the line healthcare. I hear from all my friends and other bloggers and everything, and the cost of healthcare is extremely low. Here in the province where I live at, an emergency room visit is only $30. $30 cash. A doctor visit anywhere from $5 to $10 for a doctor visit. Medication is low. X-rays and all that are only like $20, and it's very very low on medical issues. Oh, my wife is back. Okay, it's time to go, and hope you enjoyed the video. We'll be right back. Okay, Philippines got like 7,000 islands. It's just a beautiful country. There's so much to see here. Crystal clear blue waters. They do surfing. They do a lot of scuba diving and snorkeling. It's just, it's for a lot of people. It's paradise. It's just a beautiful country, and they also most of them speak English compared to other countries you go to, like Thailand and Vietnam, and sure they speak English here too, but mostly in the tourist area. But most of the country here in the Philippines speak English. And I've been to a lot of different countries, and the Philippines to me is the friendliest country that I've ever entered. You can talk to anybody, and they'll talk to you back like if you've known them for years. Geez, when I lived back in the States, you live next to your neighbors and you barely say, 2 words for each other. Or if you meet someone at a store or something and you try to talk to them, ask them a question, they avoid you like, who's this crazy person trying to talk to you? It's just the opposite here. It's a very, very friendly country. They all look out after each other. It's a slower pace living. Don't expect to get things done in a hurry. You always hear tomorrow or later or Filipino time and all that. It's you got to adjust to slow down, and it'll reduce your blood pressure and increase your health. And a lot of people come here, they lose weight, and they're off their medication after they're here for a year, and they're just so much happier, less stress. And everything isn't so fast like back in the States or other Western countries. Yeah, I should have made bullet points of all the pros, but there's a lot more. The cons is, like I said, the hot weather. Some of you might have problems, but you can get adjusted to the hot weather. And of course, you gotta look out for the street beggars and the scam artist people. Be streetwise. Uh, there's been, if you go to a restaurant, don't expect instant service. It'll take them a while to serve you food. Just be patient. You gotta be very patient to survive here. You know. Um, Driving is a big challenge for cons. There's no road rules where I live here. It's how do you say it? It's just crazy driving. But once you learn the system, how they do things, you know, uh, the codes when they blow their horns when they come to pass you, geez, they'll pass you on the right, left, straight. It's great. They'll head right down toward the right at you on the wrong side of the road. And at nighttime they don't. Half of them don't drive with lights on, and it's very dangerous. Half of them don't even have a driver's license. But don't expect stop signs and lights, and there's no police monitor the traffic like in the States. You don't have cop cars go around and all that. They only show up if there's an accident. Okay, the cons. Well, there's not too many cons that I can really think of. Another pro is it's a cash-based society. If the current goes down, the electric, everything still works. They have generators for your gas pumps, and all the stores do cash. And in the States, if the power goes out, you can't do nothing. You're stuck. So the old way is really, really better here. Oh yeah, one of the cons is that in some areas you will lose your electric for 8 hours a day or whatever, and for some people that can get very frustrating, especially if you're a digital nomad. But there's ways around that. You can get generators or solar power generators to keep going. Just use your smarts and and learn to adapt. There's a lot more, but I'm sure you've seen more videos about this. But like I said, I'll just make this quick. I have to point out there's a lot more pros than there is cons in this country. I'm proud to live in this country. The visa system is one of the easiest one in Asia, which is another topic. If you decide any countries around this area, and that's pretty low budget there too. Okay, I'll try to have more interesting content in the future. Leave a comment if you can, and I hope you hit like and subscribe. We're still trying to get monetized. We appreciate any help that we can get. You all have a good day. Okay, bye-bye.